Alright. So I'd say screw it with that previous stream. That was not my most impressive stream. I just deleted it off Twitch. I'm not gonna bother with that. But I realized I also wanted to make a highlight out of this final boss, so we're gonna try the final boss again, since I did save state it before the fight. Because the objective is to try to data drain it so we can get a rare item out of it. So I need these Beast Banes to actually cooperate. I did attempt it previously, but only one of my Beast Banes actually triggered and did what we need to do. We have to deal magic damage to it in order for the protection break to happen. But the Black Death is magic tolerant. Wise man to do the healing. I try to get these Beast Banes to work. There we go, now it's finally triggered. Now we can tell everyone to use magic. It regained the tolerance. Now I have to go back to spamming these Beast Banes. And pray that another one of them works. There we go. There it is. There's the item that we're looking for.
I've killed the root of the infection, so it should be fine now.
Two wood attacks. Critical hit. Yeah, it's not too shabby. There, and I think I've finally now finished up everything in .hack Outbreak. All the Rio books are complete. Last I checked, put those in there. One's done. Two's done. Three's done. 4 is now done. Yep. 5, 6, 7. 8 still missing 2 grunties in there. But the second part of it's complete. All that's left to do now is to do the goblin tag thing, but I tried that earlier and the third round is ridiculous, so I'm probably not going to bother. But yeah, that was the post-game dungeon for .hack Outbreak, and now we finally have everything in this game done, so now I can move. Well, there's still the matter of the levels. I want to get everyone to 70 at the least. So probably off stream I'll have to try to get them all up to that level, I guess. So yeah. That's pretty much it for .hack Outbreak. So I can now move on to Quarantine as soon as I get everyone to a more appropriate level. Alright. So that's now done. Yeah, I'm on the screen now. So now, I'm going to move on to some Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. To update this. Cool. So I'll close out all these windows and I'll get Final Fantasy XIV up and running. Fuck's sakes. I don't know, put in my password incorrectly. Boom. There we go. There's the title screen. And there's me. I'm on the Balmung server, known as Crick Etune. And I last saved at one of the new areas. Just give me a second here, because I was actually meaning to get that let me think here. I was meaning to get the chat box all covered up. No, I want you to size. There we go. Close enough. No, I can't shrink that down long enough for the whole picture to go up. Unless I wanted to cover my skills while I was at it. Of course, now that I think about it, I could probably think of a better and a more appropriate picture. Ooh, actually, this one will work. This one should work just fine. Well, maybe. No, that won't work at all. Unless I put it there, but... Nope. There we go. We can have this nice screenshot of me doing my sweet horse tricks in Breath of the Wild. Looks like that's not going to work at all. Unless I want to cover up my skills, which I do not want to. Boy, this is exciting, isn't it? Yeah, I should have thought of this beforehand. I was actually thinking of making a picture to cover that up, but... Well, this picture. Perfect. That way I can offer you a nice egg in this trying time. There, close enough. Just resize that text box so that way I can still read it. There we go. Shown with the baby gremlin that you get for pre-ordering Stormblood, or Shadowbringers. I'm too used to saying Stormblood. And there we go. So I'm currently in one of the new areas, Am-Arang, in the Nordvrant area. There's a map of it. This is all I've seen so far. And here's the rest of it here. Quite a bit of it. I haven't even seen this area yet. But yeah, how the storyline quest goes here is that you start here in the Crystarium. Nice little hub city of sorts. And then there's a whole section called Lakeland. I don't think I've only explored that much. Because you actually start in this spot, I think. And then you have to walk your way down to the X-Arch Gate, which then you end up in the Crystarium. And then once you finally meet the Crystal X-Arch, who is an important NPC in the storyline, you then get to branch off into one of two series of quests where you find Alpha Node or you find Alize. And I picked Alpha Node first, so that's why the Coluzia area is mostly explored, as is Fulmore. And right now I'm working on the Alize side of the quest, which I simply have to... Well, actually, first I gotta finish off a side quest, and then I plan on continuing. Man, I can't talk. And I apologize for that. I think it's either a little bit tired and a little bit worn out from playing .hack Outbreak most of the evening. I did do a stream earlier in this, but I decided to end it and then delete it because I was not particularly happy with it. First, I gotta make my way over to this spot so we can continue on in a side quest. You can see this place is just one vast red desert. And we're definitely not in Eorzea anymore. We're actually in the first. The first shard of the 14 shards, the 13 shards, including the source. Because how the universe of this game works is that you start off in a place called the source, which is the main universe, but then due to some cataclysmic event or something like that, 13 shards of that source fell off or broke off of it, and those shards are a reflection of the source, meaning they're similar to the source itself, but it has like various physical and appearances and differences and whatnot. There's a better way explained elsewhere. Okay, so I gotta talk to this guy. And we're currently in the first reflection, or the first piece. So, search the cranny, search high, search low. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Are you lost? Father says I must rest. That will not do. No, I will stop, but not yet. I need something to show my efforts. All this scrabbling, all this searching, and still no shinies. Came here to tell me to stop, but if I refuse, your job will not be finished, will it? That will not do either. Wait, I have an idea. If you help me find shinies, my job will be over, your job will be over, and I can rest. Simple. So we gotta find some shinies. Look under that rubble and find whatever there is to be found. Maybe it'll be valuable, maybe not. Either way, let us keep searching until we at least get one shiny. So I gotta head over here. This side quest is important because it has an aether current tied to it, and you need to trigger aether currents to be allowed to fly in the area. And flying is helpful. Helps to get around. Search fails to yield any shinies. That's probably the last one. Ooh, a signet ring. There we go, there's a shiny. Oh, excuse me. What'd you find? Not more rubble, I hope. No, I found this. Untold years spent buried beneath sand and rubble have done little to tarnish this exquisitely crafted piece of jewelry. Ooh, this looks very special. Such pretty patterns. I've never seen one like this before. How much is it worth? I am an expert in finding shinies, not a historian. Perhaps we could ask someone. Once we sell it, we will divide the profits between us. Worked as a team, so half for you, half for me. Fair is fair. There, now we complete the important one, but there's still a little bit of it to be done. Such a pretty ring, almost too precious to sell. Almost. Well, we asked a friend of my father's how much it's worth. He is a good man, we can trust him. Well, as much as we could trust anyone that my father would call friend. Let's meet Mordsuk. Once we are done, we can discuss your reward. Anything here? So now we're gonna head back all the way over here. Which I'm just gonna teleport because it's faster. My throat's a little sore for some reason. I don't know why. Very close he is, this way. That's literally right behind me. Oh, it's a scrupulous trader. Well, this isn't good. What have you got for me tonight? I'm not sure, but it's a very lovely shiny. Here, take a look. My word, this is exquisite. Judging by the sigil, it says it originates from Nabath Arang. You'll need to find an expert in that period to ascertain its true value, though. You mean you don't know? Sorry, Gungun, but the chap with a cart near the south gate might be able to help. White hair, smells of cabbage. Smells like cabbage, eh? Should be easy to find in that case. Okay, I was expecting that guy to actually steal it. Tell us what this old ring is worth. I've not seen one of these in a very long time. This is no simple ring. See that sigil? Used to seal letters, it was. The owner must have been someone quite important, but you'd best speak with Mile if you want to know who it belonged to. If you want to know about crests and such, he's the one to ask. Not again, I just want my jinglies. Hopefully Mile be the last one we have to ask. Of course, that person's all the way over here. Apparently been here for a very long time. Hide the image. What could you try two spry younglings need from an old man like me? I don't know how much we can get for this signet ring. Please tell us. The suspense is killing me. Where did you get this? It belonged to a Malik of Nebath Arang. Well, that sounds very valuable indeed. So how much? To a historian, it's priceless. In all likelihood, there is only one such ring in existence. Though I'm afraid that to the layman unversed in ancient sigils, it is worth no more than any other signet of a similar age. Anyone in Nebath Arang with even a modicum of wealth would have had one bearing their mark. So it is priceless, but also not worth very much. I am confused. Looks like we will not be rolling riches after all. I'm very sorry to have dragged you around Mord Sook for nothing. As we always say, no such thing as a thing no one needs, and hard work is its own reward. Something like that, anyway. While your coin purse may be no heavier than before, you have learned an important lesson. At least I think so. Still more left. Now that business with the ring is over, I should rest as I said I would. Then promise to my father will be fulfilled. Something I'd like to discuss with you. I'm in no rush, however, so let's speak again after your repose. Well, if you insist. You'll be amply remunerated for your efforts, even if there are no profits to be made from the sale of the items themselves. Just go from where my father tries to stop me. Honestly, there's no such thing as working too hard. Oh wait, where are we going? East of the inn at Journey's Head. So we gotta go all the way to all the way over there. Oh, now I can get that picture back up. One thing I'm not liking about this expansion is the aggro range of pretty much all the monsters in the game. Like, I'll just quietly walk by one and it's like, no, I'm just gonna attack you, bruh. Look, it's a mud person. Journey's Head, which kind of looks no different from New Alamigo. get this attuned. Give me a sec here. There we go. Just had to redo the title. Does not smell of treasure here. Maybe I'm not sniffing hard enough. Artifacts scattered around the area. First items to be discarded with those of little value are simply too cumbersome to be carried over long distances. However, we can assume that many were buried so that they could be recovered later. He wants to find the shinies. What do I have? A dirt-encrusted shield. Is this a dinner plate? Meanwhile, what is this? Aulic shield. The 5 coins above a castle represent each of the great houses in Nabafarang. Coins? Is that because they were rich? Precisely. The capital attracted trade from all across Nordvant. And much of the wealth found its way into their coffers. Such a booming economy was not built overnight, however. Although Nabafarang was largely established by Humes, the harsh desert environment meant they had to rely on the aid of neighboring peoples. It was the Mord who taught them how to safely traverse the barren plains, methods for finding sustenance, and much besides. They were also respected partners in matter of commerce. Nabaf owed a great deal to your ancestors, Gun. I never knew. History's all around us if we know where to look, which reminds me the next location I'd like to search is not far from here. Just now notice this big ass crystal wall that you're seeing here. If I remember the lore correctly, this was the flood of light, but it was stopped. Do you think there'll be more shinies? Reason to believe that more artifacts are beneath these ruins. Sounds like a plan. nothing but bricks and sand. Have you had better luck? And there's a sand-caked statue. While you suspect this may simply be a ball of clay, with rudimentary eye holes poked into an assessment of its true worth is best left to a historian. I know what this is, a decorative Mord's head sculpture. Making these is one of her many traditions. What is it doing here? We surmise it was once kept in the pristine palace of Malak. It once housed tokens of friendship from allied peoples. That the Malak brought such gifts so far from Navafarang is proof of their cultural significance. However, when the Navaf and the Mord first came into contact, there were many disagreements. I do not understand. We Mord hate arguing. The art of negotiation is another one of our many traditions. Yes, I dare say that was a decisive factor in these disparate peoples finding common ground. Yet the Mord live on while the Navaf are no more. However, hopefully we will uncover yet more valuable insights to the past at our final excavation site. Still much to be done, still more treasures to be found. This will be the last of it. Close to the Bath Severance. It's all the way over there. There's an ether current. If we're gonna grab that, we need to attune to all of these so that way we can fly in the area. There's a whole bunch of them scattered on the map itself, and then there's probably like 4 or 5 of them locked behind quests. And yet, but every handful of dirt I sift brings me closer to the shinies. Working, but listening. Why did you go to such lengths to help me? I had barely a moment's rest since we first began, yet you set about digging like a man possessed. What can I say? I love to work, that is all. Maybe that is not such a good answer. I mean, I am a Mord of Mord Suk. This is our way. Is that so? No such thing as a thing no one needs. You need these treasures, yes? Then I will find them for you. Helping each other, helping outsiders, it makes no difference. A job well done is a source of great pride for Mord. Oh, if only the kobolds back on the source had that mentality. Now I see why the Nabaf valued your ancestors' friendship so highly. Oh, I found something. Tube. Wait, there's a lid. Let me open it. Ah, something is inside. Jamail, what is this? Oh, where did Jamail go? want to show him the treasure. All the time's to go for a stroll. You go look for him. You'll see further from higher ground. I'll wait here and guard the relic. Oop, he's up on that hill. There's another aether current, which is nice. Now ready to go back to him. Well, this bodes ill. Ill indeed. While we were gone, I inspected the treasure. Inside was a scroll which shows the Nabath royal family tree. And the last Malik's name was Jamail. He was a ghost. And he is really the last Malik's ghost. He must have needed someone to find his final treasure so he could pass on into the afterlife. Must inform Father. If there are ghosts wandering around, he needs to warn everyone. Now we're going to go all the way back to Mordsuk. Let's tell them what we saw, or rather what we did not see. Crick, you've been assisting my son with his work, yes? This is true, Father, but we have grim tidings. Oh, here comes Jamail. Master Gagan, might I have, Ah, there they are. Whatever is the matter? Do not come any closer. Excuse me? Keep away from me, spirit. Beg your pardon, I may be rather long in the tooth, but I'm still very much alive, I assure you. So if you come to the conclusion that I was a ghost of the last Malik on the basis that we have the same name, I should put this misunderstanding down to an overactive imagination. Jamail the 9th, the last Malik, was my grandfather. I was named after him, which makes me Jamail the 10th. So you are Nabath royalty? It all makes sense now, I think. But why did you disappear like that? I tried to tell you I was going to return to Mordsuk to prepare your reward, although it seems you do not hear me. All that scrabbling around the dirt must have drowned out my voice. Oh, sorry about that. I'll listen harder from now on. In any case, I'm incredibly grateful to the both of you. I've learned much from my people and their exodus from the flood. But there must be many, many more shinies for us to find. And that's not all. I want to know more about the history of the Mord and their friendship with the Nabath. It is my duty as future leader of Mordsuk. I cannot leave the treasures behind, buried under the desert, or let the stories of our ancestors be forgotten. Let us work together to unearth the past. Domestic again, you've raised a fine son. And he'll be great leader one day if he can avoid working himself into an early grave. Gun, there are many relics waiting to be discovered, but there is no need to rush. They will not crumble away to nothing while you are resting. Come, we have much to discuss. Oh God, Gun, where are your manners? I am sorry he has forgotten to express his gratitude. Please allow me on his behalf. I was wondering, between all that digging, did he find time to rest? Nope. It's more grilled rail. There, now with that side quest dealt with, we can now move on to the main quests. Just gotta talk to this lady. Alize has been desperate to see you, Crick, so let's get you to her sooner rather than later. It isn't too hard to find, really. You can actually see the top of the rock spires from here. Just need to swing around the ridge and head south. I should probably mention the wildlife. While most of them will leave you be if you keep your distance, the local coyotes have learned to prey on folk heading home from the markets. I can usually swing a sword well enough to fend them off, but I may have loaded myself down with too many bargains today. Cool, so we gotta escort her. So we'll get one of you summoned up, and I like how that did not take advantage of my swift cast. Ooh, there's a big boy. Malik Tender. He's probably a hunt mark. Oh, here comes our first fight. Why do I keep triggering Try Disaster? Oh. Now we're gonna scout ahead and kill some coyotes. Supposed to be Bane, not Try Disaster. Right, now we aggro the fucking alligator. There's my away thing there. Turtle, that's what it is. Now we aggro the mole. Just by standing around doing nothing. Oh boy, cutscenes. It's not looking too great at this inn. Welcome to the inn at Journey's Head. You might be our first visitor from the Crystarium since Alize arrived. It's not much, but it's home for the afflicted and a handful of carers. The afflicted? You don't know? I don't think I've met anyone besides Alize who's so unfamiliar with our situation here. Most folk have grown up knowing someone who knew someone. I might leave out something obvious, but so it may be best to have Alize give you the full explanation. Let's take a look-see. Talk to these people. Patients here who can't feed themselves. Wow. See what they mean by afflicted. No one comes here without a very good reason or a friend of yours. Oh, cool. We can talk to this person. Care for those who can no longer look after themselves, though in all my honesty, I have had no intention of staying when I first arrived here with my brother. He was a patient here, you see. I started by performing a few chores about the place before I knew it, I'd become one of the carers. When my brother's time came, I decided to carry on. The inn at Journey's Head describes what goes on here fairly accurately. As with any other inn, it's simply to rest before you embark on the next part, if you see what I mean. It's more of an infirmary. It became clear that once a person is touched by a sin eater, there is no cure. Our job is to prepare them for the journey into whatever awaits beyond this life. Because that's what they mean by afflicted. They take care of people who have been attacked by sin eaters, which are incarnations of light in the first. Talk to her so she doesn't have a speech bubble. Where is she? I think she might be out on patrol. Could wait, I suppose. Why not go and surprise her? She usually takes a look at things from the watchtower first to be able to catch her there. Head south side and you'll soon see it. To the south side, then. Oh wow, it's really south. It's that building over there where I found that aether current. Prince. Oh, I just noticed my, Something tells me Swiftcast no longer works on the summon spells. Oh, there's been a kerfuffle here. Oh. A Sin Eater. Oh. Oh, there's Alize.
Is that... It can't be.
We congratulate her.
Just a lesser sin eater. Nothing to write home about. I knew you'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner.
Why did the camera have to pan up like that?
How are you?
That's all you have to say?
We fought them to a standstill then. The Exarch did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then. I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived. I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least. When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them. But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning. And even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision.
Yeah, definitely can't ignore that. Apparently, Urianger, when he got transferred over to the first, he saw a vision where the 8th Umbral Calamity is about to happen to the source, and it's going to involve the death of the player character, the Warrior of Light.
He may use 10 words where one would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal. But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not doubt for one moment that he saw what he claims. Nor how difficult it must have been to speak about them. The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation. As much as I might want to go home, I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the First from the Sin Eaters. That great wall of white is a remnant of the Flood.
That I already assumed.
100 years ago, the balance in the First tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day, and then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam. A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrant was spared. For the most part, living things are composed of ether of various different aspects, but when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down. Then they either perish, or are warped into mindless abominations. Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the Flood. Once the change is wrought, there is no going back. In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether, and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach. But even that is not the worst of it. The stronger Sin Eaters can plant light in us, like seeds in soil, corrupting our ether and triggering the birth of new monstrosities. They are creatures of base instinct that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason, which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them. The infirmary is full of the Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
Boy, that's depressing. Cool. So I gotta look at those 3 spots. Oh, that's a new enemy. There, now he's dead. Until this person does theirs. have any sin eaters nearby. This guy who shouldn't have aggroed me to begin with. That's an exaggeration. I don't sound like that either. Gasp. Oh, now it's time for side quests. Everyone loves these. Especially since it's the only way to gain EXP. Aside from fighting and doing duty roulettes and whatnot. Ooh, this one gets us candy. boy. Time to snipe some Gilmans. If I can actually get to him. There we go. There, that one's done. Oh boy, what's this? I assume we have to take it to... Yeah. I think I'm coming down with a cold. It's not good. If I do end up sick, I probably won't stream tomorrow if it becomes worse. Oh, the poor guy died. Rip. It's just a corpse. Yeah, probably once I get all these side quests dealt with, I'm probably going to end the stream at that point. Because I'm starting to feel pretty tired. Cool. Cool. Get this started. Let's talk to these people. I gotta be in order. I think this is an Ora kid. Or a Galgant, actually. Ora are known as Galgants in the first. Oh, he's already turning. Thank you, teleportation. Let's go see the Mender first. It's an offering of sorts. Is that so? Ooh, something that we can only see at its very top. Never fails. Ooh, that's dangerous.
Look, over there, where the wall is broken.
Ooh.
Do you see what lies beyond?
Nothing.
That's what the land became after the light flooded in. An empty white nothingness. Life cannot exist in such conditions. The primordial light would wreak havoc on the body's etheric balance. That nectarine you bought, it's Halrick's favorite fruit.
Oh.
Most of the patients, Halrick included, survived the attacks of powerful eaters. But their fate was sealed all the same. The monster's corruption has entered their bodies, and their very essence is being subsumed by light. The twisted state of the world itself just makes matters worse. Under normal circumstances, a person's ether naturally tends to equilibrium. But for these poor souls, the opposite is true. Sooner or later, every single one of them will turn. Tesleen and the patients, they all know this. They know what has to be done before the change goes too far, before the eater within takes over. The preferred method is mixing poison into their favorite food. In my time here, I've borne witness to a lot of last meals.
Oh, and that's what we're gonna do with this nectarine.
I feel just as helpless as before. No matter how hard I fight, it's never enough. But it's a war I mean to wage, nonetheless. Speaking of wars, do you remember how I made you promise not to leave me and then promptly collapsed?
Yeah, what about that?
Well, let's just say I had a few choice words for the Exarch concerning the timing of his summons.
Yeah, he told us about that.
But even if the fault lay with someone else, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd abandon you on the battlefield. So I swore that I'd make up for my absence there by making a difference here. And that's what keeps me moving forward, even when things seem hopeless.
Oh, I just realized that picture's still up.
On which note, it's time we headed back. The longer we keep Tesleen waiting, the harder this will be for her.
Yep. Time to go feed a poison nectarine. Yeah, I did say I was going to end the stream shortly, but I kind of want to see how this all turns out. Oh boy, time for a stew.
Speak up if you'd like another helping. I made a little bit more than usual today.
And you've added something special to the broth, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's poison. That's the end of the story.
Aye, well, it's not often we have visitors from the Crystarium, so I may have thrown in a few extra bits and bobs.
I'll have another bowl then.
That's what I like to hear. Give me a moment to warm up the pot. In a place like this, you learn to take what moments of happiness you can get. I remember when I first came here with my mother. She was showing the early signs. I knew there was no way to save her, but I just couldn't face what needed to be done. That's the way of it for most people. Why they travel from arms to stay here. Beaten, broken souls come to wait out the inevitable, to receive the mercy of a painless death. When my mother finally left this world, I was mad with grief, but also thankful that her passing was a peaceful one.
The nectarine.
It's never easy, ending a life you've cared for, even when you believe they go on to a better place. I often find myself wishing the Warrior of Darkness would come and do that part for me.
The Warrior of Darkness?
You've never heard the tale? I'm not sure where it began, but every child in Norvrent could tell you a version of it. Warrior of Darkness, servant of death, take care of our souls at our dying breath. Let sinners and eaters of sin go with thee, that all may return to the sunless sea. Well, that's the version I was taught anyway. It's just an old bedtime story. He's certainly never deigned to visit us here.
Although the world could really use one.
Which is a good thing, surely. He sounds rather ominous.
Do you think so? I always liked the idea that he treated every soul the same, even the Sin Eaters.
Oh, they're all looking up.
They're coming.
Desleen! Have you seen Halric? I swear, I only took my eyes off him for a moment.
Uh-oh. Well, this won't bode well. So we can search the south.
Any sign of him?
Nope.
No luck then. But he surely can't have gone far. We should keep looking. The Sin Eaters are out in force, and if we don't find him soon, you can be sure they will.
Hey, and there's one right there.
Did you see the size of that thing? It must be one of the nasty ones. Wherever it's going, it can only mean trouble. After it!
There it is!
Oh.
Is that... Oh no! Ulrich!
Ooh, nice.
We have to run!
Oh. Stabbed.
Tesleen! No!
We all deserve happiness, wherever we can find it. The time left to you is precious. No one should die in pain. Mother, I...
Oh, God. Well, that's disturbing.
No!
It's too late now. He don't care. He's too enthralled. You'd have to change the whole world. That's right. Return to the Crystarium. With that, we're back at the Crystarium. Time for more cutscenes.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Light Wardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist. Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
I have a feeling Yulmor might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity. Your uncertainty is understandable, given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then.
Story
In the
time.
ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds. This is the source, your home.
This one.
These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities. 7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed.
There's only 13 to begin with.
present, the light-drowned realm of the First stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining. It is the Sin Eaters who are to blame for the Light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Light Wardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Northrant, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Light Warden to the sword.
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Light Wardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Hallminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Looks like we're about to do something big. And that's going to be the end of that stream right there, because I got to go to bed. It's 4 a.m. where I am. So, with that, thank you for watching. There might be a stream tomorrow, but that depends on how I physically feel, because I think I am coming down with some type of cold. That, and I might be, yeah, I don't know. That's probably my only excuse. So yeah, thanks for watching. You all have a good night, and I hope to see you tomorrow.